Aibuwan. Welcome to the presidential induction of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka for the year 2021, the Golden Jubilee year. A warm welcome to our virtual audience joining us both locally and internationally. The ceremonial procession will now make its way to the auditorium. Please keep standing for the national anthem. Please do take your seats. In keeping to traditions this evening, I call upon the following to light the traditional oil lamp. Dr. Jayendra Fernando, the President of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, Professor Srinath Chandrasekera, President to be inducted this evening, Dr. Satish K. Gunasinghe, President-elect, Professor A.H. Sherif Dean, and Professor Arjuna Aluvihare, representing distinguished past presidents of the college, Professor Mohan De Silva, representing mentors and teachers of the president to be inducted, Professor Nandadeva Samarsekara, Vice President of the college, Dr. Rizni Kasim, Treasurer, and Dr. Ranga Vikramarachi, the Secretary to the college. Thank you, gentlemen. The members of the head table will now take their seats. I call upon Dr. Jayendra Fernando to deliver the welcome address.
Professor Srinath Chandrasekera, the President to be soon inducted, past presidents, council members, fellows, members, family of Professor Chandrasekera, respected members of other professional colleges and associations, invitees joining through online platforms, ladies and gentlemen. I warmly welcome you all to this ceremonial induction of the 39th President of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka. It was just about a year ago that I had the privilege of being inducted by my successor, Dr. Nisanka Jayawardene. In a few minutes, I will have the honor of inducting my successor, Professor Srinath Chandrasekera. The induction of the President of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka is usually a big social event. However, influenced by the restrictions on gatherings due to the pandemic, the social element of this event is partially moved to an online platform while maintaining the essence of the ceremony and the formalities in a physical form as it is a tradition of this college. Last year, in my induction speech, I put up this photograph of Winston Churchill's underground bunker, which he used as his bedroom and office during the war. And this photograph haunted me the whole year, as in essence, it was something that we experienced being restricted in a metaphorical sense to be underground. And our response was another quotation I had put up in that speech: to do what is required. So, Srinath, permit me to very quickly recap on some of the things that we did, what was required of us, the College of Surgeons Council. We started with college symposia, which was moved to online platform and then rebranded as the Surge Ahead program. We had many meetings in the provincial chapters and workshops spread all over the country. And then there were branded programs like the new DMMT program, NTMC, the SETS, ATLS, and then our Congress for the Surgical Nurses, culminating with the 49th Sri Lanka Surgical Congress, with many pre-Congress workshops, which was held for the first time on an online platform. We completed the 3 orations that were planned at the beginning of the year. And in addition to our journal, we did release our Sucha newsletter. We had in contact with the Ministry of Health and some other ministries, and we kept in touch with our international partners, symbolically displayed on the screen. So, ladies and gentlemen, all this was done with the support of my council and many committees that are too large to describe in this short speech. This year is a special year as it marks the Golden Jubilee. As the Confucius wisdom states, it is important to look at the past in planning for the future. If the 1971 was not there, we would not be celebrating a Golden Jubilee. So let me spend a few moments contemplating on that very first council, the Founder Council of 1971. And I'm just going to take you through all the council members very quickly. Dr. P.R. Anthony's, widely known, was the founder president, and he was the president from 1971 to 1973, and he went on to become the Chancellor of the University of Colombo. His senior vice president, or de facto president-elect, was Dr. R.C.J. Rustomjee, who became the president in the next 2 years from 1974 to 1975. And the vice president was Dr. Shelton Cabral, a pioneer neurosurgeon. He was the 3rd president of this college from 1976 to 1977. And probably much hard work fell on the honorary secretary of that founder council, Dr. Ananda Soisa. He held on to that post for no less than 7 long years and went on to become the 6th president of this college from 1982 to 1983. He is familiar to most of us in this gathering as he attended college functions regularly till as recently as August 2018, when that photograph was taken. He passed away at the age of 98 on the 12th of October 2019. The treasurer of the college was Dr. S. Rajanayagam, who later became the 5th president of this college from 1980 to 1981, and the important role of editor was held by Dr. C.S. Sinnathambi. In addition to the named posts, there were 8 council members. Dr. Tony Gabriel, whom I had the honor of meeting as a trainee, went on to become the 8th president of this college. And Dr. P.A.P. Joseph, who was a long time served served at the Kandy General Hospital. I thank Professor Chandrasekera for sending me this photograph. Professor R.A. Navaratna was the influential professor of surgery at Colombo Medical Faculty, after whom one of the college orations are named. And then there was Dr. Rienzi Pires, a pioneer orthopedic surgeon. His elder daughter became a ENT surgeon. I'm thankful to my batchmate, Dr. Kumara Srivardhana, who sent me this photograph of his father, Dr. M.H.G. Srivardhana, who was a council member. Dr. Parakrama T.S. Vijayasundara was also a council member, and this photograph was sent to me by his son, Dr. Nalita Vijayasundara, who is a consultant surgeon in Gaul. Dr. Ponnaya Sivasubramanian was an ophthalmic surgeon. His photo was obtained with a lot of detective work by Professor Sherif Dean. And lastly, I apologize for not putting up a photograph of Dr. C. Sivanyanam. So today, ladies and gentlemen, is not about the past. It's an induction ceremony that we are going to have. And it is about the future. So it is time we came back to the future. The immediate future will be guided by this council. And I take this opportunity to congratulate each one of you elected to this new council of 2021. The key to the council, of course, is the president. And before I begin my formal introduction of the next president, may I conclude this little address by thanking all of you who have found time to attend, and all those our well-wishers joining us online. Thank you very much. As the president of the College of Surgeons, I have two last tasks to do. So one will follow the other. My first task is to introduce the next president. I'm sure you will sympathize with me at this difficult task akin to shortening a textbook into a short speech. But I will try my best. Srinath Chandrasekera was born in Kandy and grew up there, being educated at Trinity College. He entered the North Colombo Medical College in 1987, where I had the good fortune of meeting him. He completed his MBBS with honors, ranking first in the batch. He was awarded the Medal for Critical Care and Anesthesiology by the College of Anesthesiologists among all medical schools in Sri Lanka in 1994. Srinath's early career started in Anuradhapura as an intern during the Civil War, which I'm told was a major influence in him choosing a career as a surgeon. Shortly thereafter, he entered the postgraduate training program in surgery. At the MS Part 1, he was awarded the P.R. Anthony's Gold Medal for best results. Interestingly and concurrently, Srinath passed the selection exam for MD Anesthesia, again winning the prize for best results. Luckily for us surgeons and the field of surgery, he chose the better field to proceed. Srinath was fortunate to be trained under giants in the field of surgery like Professors Sherif Dean, Dias Fernando, and Mohan De Silva. He completed the PGIM program with best results in the Part 2 exam, being awarded the Gabriel Gold Medal for best performance. He followed this up by obtaining the FRCS Edinburgh soon after. Having chosen the field of urological surgery, he was trained by Dr. Sunil Samaravira in Kandy, followed by overseas training at the King's College Hospital, London, where he gained exposure to many new developments in urology, including laparoscopic urology, endourology, and many research areas. Srinath made research presentations in all major conferences across Europe and USA, winning several research awards. He was one of the two urologists at the time who proceeded to obtain an exit fellowship in urology, namely the fellowship of the European Board of Urology. Professor Srinath Chandrasekera was recruited to the Department of Surgery at Sri Javanapura University when he was registrar. Having returned to Sri Lanka in 2005, he set up a urology facility thanks mainly to the philanthropy of one of his patients whom he saved from possible death. With a grant he obtained of over 100 million rupees, the Colombo site teaching hospital was equipped with the most modern technology and infrastructure in urology and endotherapy. With the availability of state-of-the-art technology of Colombo South Teaching Hospital, it became a hub for specialist training in urology. The popularity for training at this hospital grew both locally and overseas within a short time. Soon after, specialist trainees and young consultants, even from overseas, particularly the UK, would travel to Sri Lanka on training fellowships to be trained at Colombo South Teaching Hospital. Srinath, together with his mentor, Graham Watson, have made these fellowships a much sought after program in the UK since 2009. There is little debate that his initiatives played a pivotal role in developing and popularizing endourology in Sri Lanka among young urologists. In 2009, 4 years after board certification, Srinath was awarded a promotion as professor in surgery. Ladies and gentlemen, Srinath has served the College of Surgeons as a council member for 15 years, including as secretary in 2007 and thereafter as treasurer for a few years. He was also the honorary secretary of Sri Lanka Association of Urological Surgeons from 2009 to 2010 and as the honorary secretary of the Board of Study in Surgery at the PGIM for 11 years. He is also a member of the Board of Management of the PGIM for several years, representing the University Grants Commission. In 2017, through a major effort by Srinath and supported by the college and the PGIM, MD surgery trainees were recognized for the award of the MRCS Glasgow without examination, and soon GMC recognized the MD surgery as a directory registrable qualification. Srinath Chandrasekera is a key person to have attracted the Royal Society of Medicine UK to hold a joint meeting in Sri Lanka through its urology chapter in 2009 during his tenure as the secretary of the SLAUS. He has been invited regularly as a faculty member in different continents, from China, Thailand, Middle East, Pakistan, and Africa. Srinath is a founder faculty member of the Asian Urological Surgery Training and Education Group, which provides urological training opportunities to postgraduates across Asia. Through this, all Sri Lankan specialist trainees have attended training courses since 2016. Professor Chandrasekera has delivered two orations, laser prostatectomy in 2005 at the SLMA and endosurgery in developing country in 2016 at our College of Surgeons. He has authored several international book chapters. In 2018, Srinath was awarded an honorary fellowship by the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Glasgow. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sure by now you are convinced of Srinath's academic and organizational versatility and resourcefulness. However, I haven't finished. His keen interest in restoration and motor mechanics with other hobbies since childhood have had a tremendous influence on his professional life. He has been able to innovate local technologies for surgery and training, polyretractors, endourology surgical accessories, lithotripters, and innovative high-fidelity endourology training devices, to name a few. It is the general understanding among North Colombo Medical College alumni that its dinner dance reunion organizing committee chairman shall be Srinath Chandrasekera unless the event is not held at all. It is to state the obvious that Srinath is a lively, lovable, amenable colleague to have in any forum and any committee who is always thinking out of the box. For this, Srinath has received unstinted support of his family, particularly his lovely wife Sumudhi, a doctor herself, and three lively sons, Devishka, Bhuvaneshka, and Tivankar. Keen interest in classic car restoration and music is some interest Srinath shares with the three boys, and four of them are a frequent feature in musical events where they entertain with indigenous drumming and Western music. Ladies and gentlemen, with what I have said so far, I feel Srinath is the most deserving to be the president of this college and lead it to greater heights in the year to come. So thus, I request Srinath to step forward and let me induct you as the 39th president of this college.
The past president's medal will now be handed over to Dr. Jayendra Fernando by Professor Srinath Chandrasekera. I now call upon Professor Srinath Chandrasekera to deliver the presidential address.
The pearl of the Indian Ocean that we live in is renowned for its beauty, biodiversity, salubrious climate, culture, traditions, and the hospitality of its people. Our isle has been a key attraction to those around the world for millennia for its spices, gems, natural resources, and the strategic location along the Silk Route. The fine interplay between many such factors have rendered Sri Lanka to be a much desired place, despite numerous adversities that have come upon us from time to time. Even the whales and dolphins who live in our oceans remain within our waters, possibly due to ideal conditions to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to know that many such parallels can be drawn between these attributes and Sri Lankan surgery, as a small but thriving fraternity has demonstrated a steep growth and high retention rate over the years. Dr. Jayendra Fernando, immediate past presidents, fellows, members, presidents, and council members of distinguished guests who are joining us on live today, dignitaries and other invitees, friends and family members. It is with a deep sense of honor that that I stand before you, accepting this highest office at the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka. I thank the Council and the College for entrusting me with such a responsibility, and I do hope that I'll be able to carry out my duties along with the council and its members to the best of my ability. As you're aware, as President Jayendra said, we've had to move away from the traditional celebrations, but I think this is a fitting way in which the college has adapted to mark the onset of the Jubilee year and at the same time the induction of the President. We are all aware that 2021 is a special year as we celebrate the Golden Jubilee of our college. In the next few minutes, I wish to take you through some of the historic facts, in particular, some of the reasons that led to the growth of the surgical fraternity and the college, and what I think, and possibly the college and the members believe, that the way forward could be. There have been many factors that have contributed to the rapid growth of the college since 1971. And here you see one of the earliest journals that we could retrieve from the medical library. And amongst many reasons for the development of surgery and its cadres, the establishment of the Postgraduate Medicine Institute of Medicine has been one of the key factors that contributed towards the development of various specialties in the country. Small being beautiful, the PGM program was a single program for the entire country. It was one pathway for all surgeons to enroll, develop, and then branch off into various specialties where they could then finally get overseas exposure and come back to the country to serve their motherland. Our college and its members have played a pivotal role in providing every support to this program in many ways. Firstly, the availability of a larger number of slots, as you know, in this country, encouraged more trainees to take up surgery as a specialty, as opposed to the previous tradition where surgeons had to sit the primary FRCs in Sri Lanka and then obtain basic training course in the UK for them to obtain specialty training. Training in surgery also in Sri Lanka also offered a full exposure, the full range of specialties as attachments to our basic surgery trainings. Following which, and the MS that they sat, further higher local training was obtained in this country, where the overseas training component could be more focused in a manner that best suited the country and the trainees themselves, filling various gaps that they would need to fulfill in order to return to the country as fully fledged specialists. As you are aware, a large number of examiners participating in these exams and all surgical colleagues in this college have contributed immensely over the last 50 years, if not since the establishment of the PGIM in 1990 to conduct these exams. I would be failing in my duty if I do not acknowledge the contributions of our other paramedical colleagues in pathology, physiology, and other associated specialties who have unreservedly supported these training initiatives for the college. One of the key barriers that Sri Lankan trainees had to obtain the final bit of training overseas, which is often in the UK, was to get GMC recognition. And we are very grateful to the Royal Colleges, in particular the Edinburgh College, for having provided dual sponsorship programs which enabled our surgeons to go overseas to obtain the final higher training slots that they got in the United Kingdom. Now that's the PGIM as the archives revealed in 1980, and I'm very pleased that the PGIM, just like the surgeons, have also grown from strength to strength in the years that followed. Here you see the growth of all surgeons since 1980, and you see that up till 1989 we had only 9 PGIM trainees graduating as specialists. But I'm very, very happy to note and delighted to note that we now have over 600 PGIM board certified trainees who have returned to the country and got board certified, who are serving mostly different parts of our country. Along with increasing numbers It was only natural that the specialities developed, and the threshold for such development, as you can see in these graphs which I've obtained from the Postgraduate Institute itself, is around the year 2000, when sufficient numbers were there to serve different parts of the country. And now you can see different specialities blossoming. Genitourinary surgery, I'm very pleased that the highest number that you see in this graph is in urology, the specialty that I belong to, pediatric surgery, neurosurgery, and as you see, all specialties are blossomed in this country. The college was quick to adapt to all these changes and the improvements that took place in the surgical milieu of the country. Now, in this slide, I know this is mostly information that you know, but it was quite striking that when it was put on a graph, that even to us surgeons who have been deeply involved in examinations and training, that the numbers are quite striking. Now, I could not fit this graph into the other graph that you saw because the scale was different. Now, here you see the growth of general surgery, which is a specialty by itself. And we got more than 295 surgeons who have graduated through the Postgraduate Institute. Now, I cannot fit that proportion into that graph there. Same with orthopedics. We know that orthopedics branched off into a separate specialty, a standalone specialty, which has immensely contributed to the development of the specialty. And along with such developments came the onset of specialty associations. Now, around the year 2000 and some before, different specialty associations were set up in the country. And they were often in association and with deep links to other fraternities and their peers in other countries, which brought in a lot of knowledge and skills to this country, and there was a free exchange of knowledge and information between these fraternities. Once again, the college was very embracing of these progressive change. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, each and every one of these colleges are represented in the council of the College of Surgeons. And as the president officially, it is very heartening for me to see representatives of all these fraternities seated here today, enjoying this moment with us. The college has gone further. We have now got representations from each province, once again broad-basing the participation and the contributions that the college deserves to its people, and also in reverse to get necessary feedback from all areas of specialty as well as the country in order to optimize the activities of the college, in turn optimizes delivery of surgical care to our people. We did not stop there. With growth of surgeons, we found that our academic activities also grew exponentially. The annual meeting of the College of Surgeons, which was limited to a few members and sometimes foreign dignitaries, often held at the National Hospital, then the General Hospital of Colombo, or the Anatomy Department of the University of Colombo, a medical school, grew to greater proportions and greater heights. The college had its first international, the official international meeting, along with the SARC, Society of Surgical Care, in 1994 in Kandy. And here you see familiar faces, Professor Aluhare, who was the then president, and I believe Professor Mandik Vijayaratne was the secretary. And this was an enormously successful event. And I remember as a young graduate who had just come out of medical school and having been in Kandy, I was well aware of the buzz that this meeting created, both in the people of Kandy and the fraternity where we were working at General Hospital Kandy with the introduction of an international meeting of this nature to the country. We have progressed much further than beyond 1994. We have now got various collaborations, in particular for this meeting with the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh. And here you see the surgery, now it's called Sri Lanka Surgical Congress. And in 2019, President Nisanka Jayawardena took this Congress to Galle for the first time. And you see a whole array of foreign dignitaries representing different countries, UK, within UK, different regions, Scotland, Malaysia, India, International Society of Trauma. So it's a very broad-based, truly international meeting with wide participation present. With all this growth, one key factor that the college seems to have had in its early days, and certainly in the first 2 decades, was the lack of infrastructure and a nucleus that the college could grow from. We are all aware of the great philanthropic donation of the Nora and Noel Bartholomew's Foundation, where we are here today. And Nora Bartholomew's, the widow of the iconic surgeon Noel Bartholomew's, donated this magnificent property and the buildings to the college in 1993, and I believe it was formalized in 1994. And since then, the key aspects that the college needed: training, growth in numbers, growth in specialities, growth in academic activity, was completed by the availability of infrastructure and a nucleus that the college began to grow with. These are very nostalgic pictures. I'm very pleased that almost all of these people are here. Of course, there have been little changes physically. You see Mrs. Anne Ransinger, Professor Ransinger's wife, I believe, signing some of the final papers for the handover during the time of Professor Mohanty Silva. Dr. Mrs. Vimala Navaratna, who played a key role in the donation of this property to the college. And Mrs. Anne Ranasinghe is gesturing to Professor Sharif Dean and the then Professor Mohanty Silva as if she sees the future for the Bartholomew Foundation and the future for the college. Around the same time, the college had canvassed with the government and relevant authorities to obtain another property, and this was because I believe the Bartholomew Foundation was not formalized by the time that the Rajagiriya property was donated to us, and this too became a major development project for the college, which added more infrastructure and potential training and academic space. And this project has been spearheaded by none other than our energetic past president, Dr. Narendra Pinto, who has developed this foundation headquarters for the SARC, now as it stands, to a great height. Along with all these activities, we have collaborated widely with international colleges and our peers. And here are some nostalgic photographs, once again, reflecting such associations and collaborations we have had. As you know, the original mace that the college possesses was donated by the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh in 1991, and here you see the donation taking place. And in 2009, President Narendra Pinto invited the Royal College of Surgeons to hold joint meetings with the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, and a further MOU was signed later in 2011 during President Lakshman Fernando's time to formalize these arrangements for academic activity in the college. In addition, we have also had several years of MRCS examination for Edinburgh, which has been held in Sri Lanka, which the College of Surgeons in Sri Lanka has sponsored. Most importantly, during periods when Sri Lankan trainees found it challenging to obtain GMC recognition, it was the College of Surgeons of Edinburgh that provided us with dual sponsorships without any hesitation to each and every member and each and every trainee who needed it, which facilitated training programs and training activity for our surgeons to be carried out in the United Kingdom. So we are very grateful for all these contributions from the Royal College, and we believe and we are very confident that all these initiatives will grow from further strength to strength. Our association with the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Glasgow has not been second to any other. President Jayendra mentioned some of the key activities with regards to GMC recognition that the college was able to achieve. And I must place on record that it was due to the initiative of the college, which managed to convince the Joint Commission for Intercollegiate Examinations in the United Kingdom, which is a joint committee, that the Sri Lankan MD was equivalent, if not better, than the MRCS, and therefore the JCIE was satisfied that our examination and training standards were compatible with the MRCS. This led to deep negotiations between the tripartite negotiations between the College of Surgeons, the PGIM, and the Royal College of Surgeons, Physicians and Surgeons of Glasgow, which ultimately led to the award of the MRCS qualification, the MRCS Glasgow qualification without examination to any of the MD graduates. Now, this was a major milestone for the college because soon after this MOU and the award or the offer for the MRCS without examination and the JCIE accreditation, the General Medical Council of the United Kingdom recognized the MD Sri Lanka as a registrable qualification or a directly registrable qualification with the GMC. So this was a significant milestone in the college, and I'm very grateful to all those who facilitated this initiative, the JCIE of the UK, the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Glasgow, in particular, Professor David Richens, who is with us, joining live today, and the members, the president, and the members of the council members of this college for facilitating all these initiatives. Along with the award of the MRCS without examination came another key improvement in our examination process, and that was quality assurance. Now, this initiative followed an essential component in the postgraduate MD at the PGIM, and that was that all assessors, all examiners were assessed externally as well as internally during each and every exam. Now, this quality assurance program for examiners led the PGIM to initiate similar programs for all specialties. And I know that the former director of the PGIM took keen interest in this, and examiner training programs and various other activities have been carried out since then. And I believe that examiner assessment is now here to stay. It is certainly here to stay for the MD surgery exam, and this initiative is now going to continue for all other specialties in the PGIM. So it has been a tremendous improvement in the quality and accreditation, global accreditation for Sri Lanka surgeons. I'm very happy to note once again that this was one of the first in the world, and we are privileged indeed for having been received such an honor and an accreditation. We have had several visits from the Royal Colleges, just like Edinburgh, and here you see President Taylor, Jackie Taylor, who is once again with us today. She visited us, and Professor David Richens has been a regular examiner and assessor, and many other examiners and dignitaries from the college maintain close links with us. Our links with the region has been as strong as with those from Europe and elsewhere. We are now a regular feature in the Malaysian academic meeting, and it is the same for our meeting, where there is regular participation of resource persons from the Academy of Medicine of Malaysia. We have developed links, very close ties with the International Society of Surgeons, and we have all these dignitaries joining in live with us. Professor Kem Bofford is here, and we've got the council and the president of the Malaysian College. So we are very grateful for them, to them for joining us and for collaborating with us for mutually beneficial programs. The English College once again has made similar contributions, and this is one of the photographs from the 80s. And English College once again is engaged in several educational and training initiatives over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, as we come to our Jubilee year, as Jayendra said, this is a particularly challenging year, not only for the country, but for us surgeons. The most significant way in which we can mark our milestone Golden Jubilee would be to sustain, if not enhance, the quality of services to our patients. The key tasks at hand for us surgeons would therefore we to overcome various restrictions that that we have come across due to COVID to the already strained medical and surgical system of this country. We know that COVID is unlikely to go away fast, and this is going to cause a significant socio-economic impact to the country, and health workers are going to be significantly at risk due to the pandemic. We have conducted an unofficial survey between different hospitals, and the impact from the COVID pandemic to surgical care is reflected here. And in this initial survey, as you can see, the impact on clinic visits, surgical admissions, and surgery itself. We have had data coming in from Kandy and Kurunagala and Anuradhapura. Unfortunately, it was inadequate time for us to incorporate all that information to this presentation today. But the impact seems very similar across the country. There are subtle changes in different regions due to the magnitude of the pandemic affecting these regions. But the message is clear. We will have, or we seem to have, an average of 15 to 30% drop in the care we offer in elective services to our patients. And this is going to spiral into several years where the already strained and already stretched healthcare system is going to be burdened with more work and more challenges in the next months and years to come. I do not wish to give you a lecture on COVID because I think we have quite a number of information, quite a bit of information on that. But here I have, in my own way, tried to summarize some of the measures that could be adopted to sustain surgical services during the pandemic. We do hope that vaccination will arrive in this country for sufficient numbers soon enough, and for the frontline workers. Triage and screening will have to be the new norm for several years, where protection of patients as well as the healthcare personnel will depend largely on how we screen our patients. We will need to rethink about healthcare delivery and surgical delivery, and we have to take whatever measures necessary to protect the already stretched and already scarce healthcare force in this country. We will need to optimize resources and infrastructure, and the traditional thinking of having different wards, specific times, may need to change. I have no answers, but I have suggestions and I have questions, and I'm sure it is the same with you. We need to create awareness and have protocols that are adapted to local conditions, and we need data to plan new strategies. The other program the college wishes to implement this year would be to spearhead a sustainable trauma management program in this country. I do not need to impress upon you the burden of trauma globally and in our own country, where it is the #1 cause of hospital admission in all districts except Kilinochchi for the last 17 years. We have over 300 deaths due to road traffic accidents alone in this country, and if we add up other causes of trauma, I believe the numbers would be even more staggering. So this year, together with the council and its membership and other stakeholders, the college wishes to establish a medium to long-term engagement. It is not the program for the year. It is a program that we want to engage ourselves with for the future, by setting up an effective committee for trauma within the CCC College of Surgeons, develop close links with all stakeholders, including the Ministry of Health and preventive healthcare workers, the trauma secretariat, engage in different levels of training for medical officers, nurses, and for paramedics, links with pre-hospital ambulance services, and take whatever measures necessary, adopt whatever measures necessary to improve the quality improvement program, injury prevention, and trauma research. I know this is a very ambitious list, and I do not mean to imply that this is what we hope to achieve within 1 year. This is the roadmap for the future, and I do believe that the council of this year would be able to initiate the basic steps and the foundation which will enable the College of Surgeons to engage in this program to prevent and manage trauma better in this country in the future. I'm also pleased to know that a lot of groundwork is happening as we speak, and we have a lot of training activities such as the NTMC, ATLS, and several other courses that have been set up through the college. And I believe there will be a lot of enthusiasm, adequate enthusiasm within the college to make this program a success. What Jayendra did not mention in his welcome address is the giant steps he took to convert the traditional annual sessions of the college to an online virtual meeting within a matter of days. Jayendra, you took up the challenge of continuing with our annual international meeting, which was postponed to November, and it was only days before that we knew that there was going to be a curfew in the Western Province. But Jayendra remained undeterred, and with his crack 80, he converted the entire program, which was anyway going to be web streamed or live streamed, into a purely virtual meeting. And as he mentioned very humbly in his presentation, he managed to fulfill all the key items in this program, including the 3 orations. So congratulations, Jayendra, for showing the leadership and the character of a true surgeon who remained undeterred despite all challenges. So in keeping with his vision and that of the college, this year, the college is going to set up on an ambitious program to upgrade the IT infrastructure within the Noel and Nora Bartholomew's Foundation. Once again, basic planning has already taken place, and I do believe that the next time we meet formally within this venue, the college would be a very tech-savvy IT hub for virtual conferencing and for whatever necessary academic activity that can spring from this foundation to the rest of the country and connect to the rest of the world. So I seek the support of all council members to make this project a reality as soon as possible. And along with that, the college wishes to refurbish the Bartholomew's Foundation, bringing back its past glory. Ladies and gentlemen, the Golden Jubilee is a milestone for us not only to look back. We also need to look forward at this important juncture and determine our directions towards the centennial. We have gained vastly from our diverse cultural heritage and now possess new strengths and advantages which might be utilized for greater good of all. We have a high rate of English literacy due to our colonial past. Thanks to our friends and the local contributions and quality assurance, we have a globally acceptable qualification, along with an overseas qualification that now follows seamlessly. Sri Lanka has a vast amount of clinical learning opportunities, and you know that there are numerous international training opportunities within this country, and it is with humility that I acknowledge some of the comments made by President Jayendra, where I too have been involved in such initiatives with my mentors from the United Kingdom, where there was a free flow of knowledge, skills, and technology in both directions, not one direction. We gain technology and we gain high-end mentorship, whilst the foreign trainees who come to our country gain a vast amount of experience through the variety of caseload and opportunities that this country has to offer. We have close links with all our peers, regionally and globally, and excellent hospital facilities. Some of you may be surprised that apart from the port city, which are and the tower that we are all familiar with, the picture in the middle is actually a hospital in Polonnaru. That's a new kidney hospital in Polonnaru. And the one at the bottom is the defense hospital in Verahara. So we have state-of-the-art infrastructure, and the way forward for us would be to use this new phenomenon to attract new knowledge, skills, and develop new links. And I do hope that the college will develop a vision in keeping with some of these ideas, to plan out strategically as to how the college, as well as its fraternity, should place itself towards the centennial. I'm now going to do something that I'm not great at because I get emotional sometimes. But I wish to acknowledge many people and places that enable me to be what I am today. I thank my school, Trinity College, many friends and colleagues, and teams of people I have who support me all the time, enabling me to do all what I do. My teachers, mentors, particularly Professor Sharifdeen, Professor Mohan De Silva, and Professor Dayas Lukanan, who is not with us today. My family and children, who have always supported me, not what I do. Ladies and gentlemen, as I come to the end of my presentation, I would like to wind up with a story. The story of a giant who was in pursuit of a rising sun, and he had a dwarf perched on his shoulders, joining him on this crusade. This tale, which has been subjected to many interpretations over generations, is famously associated with Sir Isaac Newton, who remarked metaphorically regarding his scientific postulations that he sees Earth standing on the shoulders of giants who preceded him. And when confronted by theories regarding definitive nature of some of the discoveries postulated by his peers during that time, Newton remarked once again that science progresses not towards the definitive, instead the infinite. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we, the College of Surgeons, look forward to the horizons of progress, let us be guided not only by the knowledge, skills, but more importantly, the values and traditions of the giant who succeeded us. Thank you very much.
The next item on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, is to launch the theme for the year 2021, the Golden Jubilee Year of the College. Mr. President, sir, it's over to you.
Thank you, Malik. Amongst many things we plan to do this year, we thought that we must link our past to the present. We all know the rich heritage, not only in culture, but in the practice of medicine and surgery that we have in this country. So, rather hurriedly, I must say, this is the first edition, and in this year, I can assure you that you can look forward to many such productions of historical information and articles. We have developed this theme, which I believe will reflect some of those past glories and the manner in which we could project to the future. I now call upon Professor Sharifdeen to launch this year's theme. And sir, could you come here to the stage? And I think we need a cue from the IT team. And at the correct time, press the button. Just a minute.
Science meets art, even as the resonance of a gloried past nurtures the present stature of the college. The ancients illuminate the verity of today. The traditional and the tradition provided succor and relief and will continue in vital service towards our community. in this culture nourished by a heritage of craftsmanship. We reach in while we also reach outwards, building on relationships, extending our techniques and technologies as we advance beyond our golden jubilee year of the College of Surgeons, Sri Lanka. This science is not new. In fact, there is proof with ample evidence that the art and craft of surgery was practiced in this island nation with flair and finesse for well over a millennium. The focus of the ancients was on care of the stricken. Alleviation of pain was priority rather than mere incisions, bloodletting, and extractions. Hospitals where surgical care was provided, indeed fully fledged facilities for the care of the sick, existed and flourished in the ancient kingdoms of Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa. The hospital complex at Mihintale, dating back to 200 BC, is renowned as the first of its kind recorded in the world. The resemblance to the modern instruments excavated from the Alahana Pirivena complex archaeological site is notable. Used nearly a millennium ago, instruments such as the scalpel, forceps, and scissors shed a compelling light on the sophistication in surgical practice possessed by those giants among healers centuries ago. The creative response to meeting a challenge is another vital element in the field of surgery. Science, craftsmanship, and art combined not only in the creation of those ancient instruments of healing, but also in other aspects of Sri Lanka's heritage. Vibrant expressions of this confluence are evident in many locales of medieval Sri Lankan art. Murals, sculpture, and ornate edifices in places of worship demonstrate that creative approaches to architecture were embarked on. And there is one place in particular which merits a closer look. That is Mbeke, which deserves recognition as a national heritage. This amalgamation of Sri Lankan art, science, and craftsmanship comes alive in wood at Mbeke. This most significant adornment, the drooping lotus that crowns the ornate columns of Mbeke, is the Pakada. This carved capital intervenes between the pillars and the roof beams and is the point where the vertical meets the horizontal. What better symbol than the Pakada to inspire the theme for the Golden Jubilee of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka? Archaeology proves beyond doubt that we indeed have benefited from the sterling commitment and service of those gone before us. Much like the Pakada, which rests in glory at the summit of the carved columns of Mbeke, we stand on the shoulders of a surgical heritage spanning millennia. Like the Pakada, the college is the great intermediary, the device that lets this great pillar of surgery branch into the beams, the rafters, and ultimately completes the roof of surgical care in Sri Lanka. Similar with the Pakada, it exemplifies a happy union of art, science, and craftsmanship marching with one purpose. The petals of the Pakada, each unique, represent the many disciplines in the community of surgeons of Sri Lanka: urology, orthopedics, neurosurgery, pediatric surgery, cardiac surgery, plastic surgery, oncology, vascular surgery. These specialties that have blossomed in Sri Lanka over the years remain integral with the college and find fitting symbolism in the carved wood. The four lotuses created by the intersecting blocks of the Pakada blossom in all four directions of the compass represent surgeons of the college who interconnect with each other to serve all corners of the island. Their sustained effort is to build on experience in order to complete this shelter of surgical care to our key stakeholders, the patients everywhere. The crafted lines and fashion grooves, each unique and individual, depict the diversity, talent, and the individual response in meeting patients' needs, each adjusting and adapting to challenges with skill and flair despite constraints or limiting circumstances. Withal, like the columns of Mbeke, the College of Surgeons Sri Lanka have withstood the weathering process and matured, and thus continue on into the future, shaped by the heritage of this island, upholding the health of its inhabitants. As we approach our Golden Jubilee, The lotus and the scissors point toward the horizon, symbolizing our quest as a nation for excellence in education, innovation, and healing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the college is indeed honored today by the participation of several international colleges and associations at this milestone event, commencing its Golden Jubilee year. Joining us now lively from the online platform is Dr. Abhay Dalvi, the President of the Association of Surgeons of India. Dr. Dalvi.
Thank you. Good evening to all of you all, and good afternoon to my colleagues in the UK. I am Dr. Abhay Dalvi, Professor of Surgery at St. G.S. Medical College and King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, Mumbai, India. Presently, the President of the Association of Surgeons of India for 2021. President Professor Srinath Chandrasekera, immediate past President Dr. Jayendra Fernando, the council members, surgeon colleagues, dignitaries, and friends. It is a matter of honor for me to represent the 27,000 plus membership of the Association of Surgeons of India in this ceremony of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, inducting Professor Srinath Chandrasekera as President 2021. Surgeons of India and Sri Lanka have been closely associated with honing of knowledge across the nations with mutual exchanges. I was part of the delegation on behalf of the Association of Minimal Access Surgeons of India, that is AMASI, a vibrant section of ASI, to Kandy during the fellowship course in 2018. I experienced complete cooperation, not only in knowledge sharing, but also a commendable hospitality to the core. Having been associated with the Council of the Association of Surgeons of India from 2012 to 2018, I have been witness to many Sri Lankan surgeons through SARC or otherwise attending ASICON. I remember two regular names, however, which are, to the best of my knowledge, the regulars for the ASICONs that we conduct annually. Dr. Narendra Pinto and Dr. Lama Vansa. Both have been the past of the Council of Sri Lankans. I have also been one of the organizers to host the Sri Lankan delegation to the annual conference of the Association of Surgeons of India in 2019 at Bhubaneswar, being interacted with many of them, and was happy to see the immediate past President, Dr. Fernando, being honored with the honorary fellowship of the ASI in 2019. The college is celebrating Golden Jubilee this year, and we hope in this receding COVID pandemic, the college will continue its aims in propagating academics with Professor Chandrasekera and the council members at its helm. The council is fortunate to have an independent office in the residence of one of the foremost surgeons, Dr. Noel Bartholomeus, at number 6 Independence Avenue in Colombo. Kudos to Miss Nora to have donated this house. To cure often, to relieve sometimes, and to comfort always was Dr. Noel's motto, and I'm sure many of the Sri Lankan colleague surgeons believe in this. Academic activities of the Association of Surgeons of India in the form of National Skill Enhancement Program, endoscopy courses, regional refreshers courses, all designed to enthuse PGs and surgeons, has found a new direction with the pandemic through virtual medium. On behalf of the academic wing of the Association of Surgeons of India, I invite Professor Srinath Chandrasekera and its council to ask their postgraduates and surgeon members of Sri Lanka to enroll in these activities. They are really beneficial. I have restricted time to speak, so let me wish Professor Srinath Chandrasekera a wonderful year and invite him, his council, and member surgeons to the forthcoming annual conference of ASI scheduled in December 2021 at Visakhapatnam. Long live the Association of Surgeons of India, College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, and the SARC. Jai Hind. Thank you.
For your participation and the good wishes and felicitations carried from the the Association of Surgeons of India. And as in the past, we do believe and we are sure that our links will grow from strength to strength in years to come, and there will be much more mutually beneficial partnership. Thank you once again.
Professor April Roslani, the president of the College of Surgeons, Academy of Medicine of Malaysia, was with us until a short while ago, but unfortunately she had to leave us to join another webinar. But she has been kind to record her speech. So let's now listen to Professor April Roslani.
Salam sejahtera and felicitations to my dear colleagues at the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka. On behalf of the College of Surgeons, Academy of Medicine of Malaysia, I, Professor April Roslani, the President of the College, would like to convey our warmest congratulations to Professor Srinath Chandrasekera on his induction to the office of the CSSL President. Our countries have a shared history, and this is reflected in the strong links between the two colleges with mutually beneficial exchange of ideas, training, and education. I am sure that Professor Srinath will continue to build on the cordial relationship established by his predecessors, and I look forward to our future collaboration. Finally, I wish CSSL many happy returns of the day on the occasion of your Golden Jubilee. May you have many more golden and prosperous years to come.
We are indeed honored by the online presence of Professor Ken Buffard, the Secretary General of the International Society of Surgery, and Professor Cheng Hai Yip, the President-elect of the ISS. Professor Cheng Hai Yip will present to us and speak to us now.
The International Society of Surgery has over 3,000 members in over 100 countries with the goal of teaching in both developed and developing countries. The International Society of Surgery congratulates Professor Srinath Chandrasekera on his induction as the 39th President of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka and for his excellent presidential address. As well as the integrated societies which make up the ISS, we are also associated with surgical societies from different parts of the world, and among them, the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka. ISS values its partnership with the CSSL, and we hope to continue our association for many more years to come. Although we are only able to come together virtually at this time, and virtual meetings have become a part of our lives, we do hope that the COVID pandemic will be over by 2022, and we will be able to meet face-to-face in Kuala Lumpur in August 2022 for the International Surgical Week. Once again, Professor Ken Buffard, Secretary General of the ISS, and myself, the President-elect of the ISS, congratulate Professor Srinath Chandrasekera on his induction as President of the CSSL and on the Golden Jubilee of the CSSL as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam, for your felicitation and good wishes, and particularly for participating in this event today together with Professor Buffard. As you know, developing trauma care and trauma management is foremost in our agenda, both in the short term as well as the long term for the college. So we look forward to your collaboration and guidance in structuring some of these programs. I look forward to meeting you both virtually as well as in person in the future. Thank you very much.
Well, next we cross over to Moscow, where our very own Professor M.D. Lamawansa, the President of the SARC Surgical Care Society, is waiting to speak to us. Professor Lamawansa, as you know, is a distinguished past president of the college and is currently the Sri Lankan ambassador to the Federation of Russia. Professor Lamawansa.
Thank you very much. A very good evening to all of you. Professor Srinath Chandrasekera, newly elected President of the Golden Jubilee year, past Presidents of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, founder President of the SARC Surgical Care Society, Professor Arjuna Vihare, Director General of the SARC Surgical Care Society Headquarters, Dr. Narendra Pinto, Presidents of the Surgical Associations of the SARC region, and other colleges, council members, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to join you from Moscow to greet the newly elected president. Knowing Professor Chandrasekera over 2 decades, both professionally and personally, and his gifts, especially excellent organization, communication, and public relations skills, which I can do very well learning from him as well in my new position here, we all can be convinced that the college is in great hands in this very important milestone year. The SARC Surgical Care Society has its origin in Sri Lanka, and the college has been an integral and catalytical element of the society. The society, the SARC Surgical Care Society, treasures its 24-year-long association with the college. On the part of the SARC Society, I have no doubt that more initiatives will be taken to strengthen our ties during this year. I am sure Srinath will come on board. This will be in addition to the already established activities such as in the annual academic sessions, an oration, free paper session, and symposium dedicated to the SARC Society. As for the future of the college, SARC Society, and our combined interest, I believe further expansion of collaboration is in order, especially with surgeons of the countries of other regional organizations, such as Conference on Interaction and Confidence Building Measures in Asia, SICA for short, which some of you may not be well aware of, represented by 27 countries in our region, and is a fairly old organization. I am confident that Professor Chandrasekera and his council have the vision to take such initiatives. While congratulating the outgoing President, Dr. Jayendra Fernando, and the Council, I wish the new President, Srinath Chandrasekera, and the Council a Happy New Year and strength for a productive and a memorable Jubilee year. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir, for joining us live. As you know, it's a particular honor for us to have you here for several reasons. Firstly, as the head of the SARC Surgical Care Society, being a Sri Lankan former president of the college. Secondly, as a personal friend who has always guided me and helped me in numerous endeavors, both professionally and with the college. We are also delighted that the country has recognized a fellow surgeon to represent Sri Lanka in a place so important as Russia, and that is also a particular honor for the surgical fraternity of this country. So thank you, sir, and wish you good night.
Professor Jackie Taylor, President of the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Glasgow, will address you now.
Good evening, Mr. President, Professor Chandrasekera, and immediate past President Dr. Jayendra Fernando, council members and distinguished guests, fellows and members. Thank you very much on behalf of our college for inviting us to participate in this really important event. And I'm joined this evening by Professor David Richens, who's well known to you, and Mr. Mike McCurdy, who's our President-elect, also very well known to you. The induction of a new president is always an occasion for great celebration. We're thinking about the future with excitement and anticipation, and it really is a great privilege to be part of this. Our college is proud of its association with the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, and we're really looking forward to that flourishing. Srinath, you and I first met some years ago in Glasgow on a very cold, dark November day, and I can tell you there's about 3 inches of snow lying here at the moment. I was then fortunate to be able to meet you very briefly a couple of years ago on a flying visit to Colombo, and I very, very much appreciated the hospitality which you showed me on that visit. It was wonderful to meet so many of your past presidents and other fellows, and particularly your surgeons in training. I was made to feel very welcome particularly since I am a physician, a very strange being. And so being part of this event is actually very, very meaningful to me. It's clear to me that there is a real sense of community within your college and of very much upholding the highest standards of professionalism and values, a real sense of the importance of heritage, but you're clearly a very forward-looking organisation, very intent on providing the highest standards of training and surgical practice, but also a very agile and innovative college. And I certainly wish Srinath well in continuing this very important work. I think we've seen, given his breadth of experience and skills, he'll be an excellent president, leading the college with integrity and vision, particularly in this golden Jubilee year. I would say it is quite a challenging time to be in a leadership position with the backdrop of this global pandemic, and we're working in constantly shifting times. But that's also something that unites us as colleges and professional organisations. And now is the time for us all to work together and collaborate in a very mutually supportive way. As we've seen tonight, the power of Zoom, well, it doesn't replace being there in person, but it certainly has brought us all together in a new way. And I hope that you'll think of us all as part of a global community working together. I'd like to thank also Dr. Jayanda Fernando for leading your college with distinction through a very difficult time. And in closing, I would just like to mention this quote that I think is important about leadership. Great leaders don't tell you what to do, they show you how to do it. And I think very much we can see that Srinath is of that ilk. And I wish him very great success in the forthcoming Golden Jubilee year. Thank you again for inviting us to be part of this.
Thank you, Professor Taylor, for joining us live together with your distinguished council members and the President-elect, Professor Mukherjee, along with Professor Adarani and several others. As I reiterated, the Glasgow College has close links with us, and with your assistance, the Sri Lankan training and its accreditation and quality assurance has gone to a whole new level. So we thank you for that and look forward to further collaborations and growth in our links in the years to come. So see you soon and meet you all soon, both virtually as in person soon. Thank you very much.
Professor Mike Griffin, President of the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh, will address you now.
Well, hello, and welcome from the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh. It is an absolute pleasure for me to be with you on this virtual environment to congratulate Srinath Chandrasekera on his inauguration as President of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka. I wish you such success during this Golden Jubilee year. The Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh has been involved with the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka since 1971 for the 50 years, really, and we value that so much. It seems a lifetime away since our college shared your annual meeting in Gaul in 2019, and I see quite a few people on the Zoom call that were there, David Richens and so on, and it was a wonderful celebration of surgery. It was also very warm, and I do recall walking across the cricket pitch there, and I wish I was with you in Gaul to witness the cricket at the moment. Perhaps it could be a little bit better for the Sri Lankans, and I remember talking about that when I was with you. It's not gone quite so well in the first 2 days, but there's still time. If I was to contrast that with where I am at the moment in rural Northumberland in the United Kingdom, it is -7 degrees as I speak. and there is 6 inches of snow surrounding me. So I'm going nowhere. And so it has been an absolute treat to be with you and to celebrate with you on this very auspicious day. I must say that I've had great relationships with Jayendra Fernando and of course Nisanka Jayawardena over the last few years, who have served the college so well. And we as a college look forward so much, Srinath, to working with you and in the interests of surgery worldwide. A pleasure to be here. Congratulations and welcome from the college.
Thank you, Professor Griffiths, for your greetings. I know Professor Judy Evans is also joining us live. Several of your key members, your presidents, the council members, and many energetic members, senior membership of your college has always been very, very helpful to many of our surgeons individually and as a college collectively. I've already highlighted many of the gestures of support and activities that have strengthened our ties and helped the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka over the decades. And this relationship can only grow to greater heights. So I thank you very much once again, along with your colleagues, for joining us in this event, and look forward to meeting you soon. Thank you.
Professor David Richens from the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Glasgow will speak to us now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the honour of speaking at this important event. I'd like to start by congratulating the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka on its wisdom in appointing such a galaxy of surgical talent in the past as its presidents. President Chandrasekera is a tireless worker, an innovator, and a man who doesn't seem to need sleep. I'm sure most of you will recognize the emails sent in the early hours of the morning. But most importantly for me, I feel privileged to say that he is my personal friend. And my wife and I, both being present at the ceremony, strongly feel that the college has once again chosen well as its president, and we wish President Chandrasekera every success and a wonderful Golden Jubilee year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Kim, for joining us live. As you know, you have been a friend of the college, and more recently a close friend of many of us, and particularly me. Your efforts to support the college has made us grow from strength to strength, and we only hope that you'll be able to visit us soon and support us in greater ways to develop the surgical fraternity and the program of the college. So I thank you both as the president of the college and as a personal friend for many gestures of support that you have extended to us, both at a personal level as well as official level in helping the college. So thank you very much once again, and thank you, Kim, for joining us.
Mr. Graham Watson, Senior Consultant Neurological Surgeon from the United Kingdom, will speak to us now.
Mr. President, Council of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, honoured members and guests, thank you for inviting me to speak to you today. I'm honoured and at the same time extremely happy to say a few words to reinforce what's been said about what a worthy champion has been elected. My story starts in 2008 when Suren De Silva, attending the annual BAUS meeting, asked me to come to Sri Lanka and help establish PCNL, which is keyhole endoscopic stone surgery. Within 2 months, I was in Colombo and I joined Suren and Srinath Chandrasekera for a PCNL marathon. And it was an absolute delight for me. We made great progress, and I thoroughly enjoyed the colourful culture and beauty of the island. On my third visit, after completing a staggering number of PCNLs in one day, I'd recorded that it was 8, but I find that hard to believe sitting here in comfort today, that we hatched the plan of putting on international training courses in Sri Lanka and bringing UK and Sri Lankan trainees to those courses. They were a great success, helped by the wonderful organizational abilities of the local hosts, and in no part, small part, to them bringing in other experts from China and India to help. And in just a few years, PCNL went from a rare procedure to the standard treatment for complex renal stones in Sri Lanka. But let me tell you what this experience did for me. First of all, I found the interaction with Srinath and Suren so fulfilling that it ignited a lasting passion in my heart for global partnerships. I've now gone to train surgeons in PCNL in Gambia, Senegal, the Cameroons, Ethiopia, Benin, Ghana, Rwanda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. I find it quite surprising going through that list. And secondly, and to my surprise, I found that my technique developed and I became more proficient. How strange and unexpected to be locked into one way of doing an operation until the age of 58, as I was back then, and then suddenly developing when other people are thinking of retiring. I've found others who are passionate about global partnerships. 2 neurosurgeons, William Harkness and James Johnson, have formed a site called Intersurgeon, and you can join this site as a potential provider or receiver of surgical training, or both. And this site includes all surgical specialties, and I strongly recommend that you all consider enrolling. I'm just going to try and share a site here as I hold it up to my computer. And I don't know if you can see that, but there is a map of all the members. I'm sorry, I'm having there we are, trying to show you the all the members of Intersurgeon. The other development has been the use of sites which allow remote training using virtual reality and actually merged virtual reality. And one example is proximy.org. And with that, what one can do is to use fused merged virtual reality and operate from your front room. And here I hope I can show you an example of operating from my office in the hospital, and at the same time having a split screen which shows the audio-visual image, the endoscopic image, the ultrasound image, the X-ray image, and the surgeon's hands. And you can actually direct proceedings. And using this, I've held follow-up training sessions in Benin while sitting in my front room and sometimes babysitting my grandchildren. I can draw on my screen and that will appear on a monitor in their operating theatre. And we have successfully gone through 5 PCNL procedures in the last month. And they can also connect with anybody else on the planet. Also, Intersurgeon members can obtain for free a site called Help Lightning, and we're exploring the use of smart headsets made by Vuzix. And these headsets incorporate a camera, an audio, a tiny screen in the periphery, and we can draw on that screen and show the surgeon where to cut or where to puncture. And invaluable assistance in all these activities has been the Meditech Trust, and Bob Lewis from the Meditech Trust, Srinath, sends you his very best regards. So this is the dawn of a huge rise in the numbers and the extent of global partnerships in surgery at the moment. And everyone who participates can expect to become a better surgeon as a result of it. It's one of those situations where we all gain. So Srinath, giving you and your fellow Sri Lankan colleagues a helping hand in establishing PCNL has been for me like teaching a young Yehudi Menuhin to play the violin or Tiger Woods to swing a golf club. I was swept along in the partnership as we all progressed together. Working with you was a wonderful boost to my development, and I'm so happy that your enthusiasm and skills can now be deployed in facilitating surgical progress in your entire region. Srinath Istuti, Bahoma Istuti. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham, for joining us. I think you said most of what I would have wanted, how you helped us, both me in person and my colleagues and many other young urologists, not only to train in endourology here, but providing them training placements overseas. So thank you for your blessings, and we hope to see you soon in Sri Lanka again.
While thanking all the foreign dignitaries for their time and courtesy, I now call upon Dr. Rangavikramarachi to deliver the vote of thanks.
President and the Council of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka, past presidents of the college, fellows, members, invited guests, and well-wishers, both local and international, joining virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, paying gratitude is one of the simplest, yet one of the most powerful gestures humans can offer each other. Therefore, it's my pleasure and duty to propose the vote of thanks at this presidential induction of the Golden Jubilee year of the College of Surgeons of Sri Lanka. I take this opportunity to thank the President and the Council for the trust they have kept on me by selecting me as the Secretary for the College for this unique year. I'm so grateful to all the past presidents, council members, for many years of hard work and dedication, and also for being physically here today, of course adhering to all the health guidelines despite the threat to their well-being. We have distinguished dignitaries of many international colleges and associations joining us for this august occasion, consolidating the long-standing bonds and expressing their goodwill. There are many others of local sister colleges and associations who joined us and sent messages. Fellows and members of the college, friends and many male well-wishers are also witnessing the event virtually. On behalf of the college, I wish to express my gratitude to all of them. Ladies and gentlemen, as I go on thanking each and everyone who contributed to make this event a success, I cannot resist myself in mentioning the names of few. Mr. Atula Mahavalage and his team for excellent piece of creativity you have experienced today. All the service providers for fulfilling technical logistics, including audio, visuals, and connectivity, for arranging flowers, decor, refreshments, far beyond expectations. And of course, Mr. Arun Dias Bandaranayaka and my own dear friend, Dr. Malik Bisoisa, for adding their voices. Many thanks to our college office team for being endurable and very supportive as always. Mr. Dayananda, Amali, Chatush, and Saman, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this would conclude the official proceedings of the presidential induction ceremony. And for those who are physically present here, may I kindly invite you to join the refreshments. Thank you. Have a pleasant day and a great weekend. Stay safe. Ayubowan.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's proceedings. In keeping with traditions of the college, please stand as a ceremonial procession leaves the auditorium. Thank you.